You joined GEMS World Academy here in Dubai in 2020 last year. Tell us what attracted you to the school, what attracted you to this opportunity, and especially given how different, on the face of it at least, GEMS World Academy is to your previous school, your last school at Westminster Academy.
Westminster Academy is a phenomenal school. It is an International Baccalaureate School and it continues to do very well. I'm also the governor of University College School, which is a private school in Hampstead, and it has a very, very interesting clientele and students at that school. So I have been involved in lots of different types of schools, as I said earlier as well. GEMS World Academy is very unique. It is very different from all the other schools I believe I have been connected to. Now, what drew me to GEMS World Academy? Two things. One, I had worked with Mr. Varkey on charitable projects and I knew about his charitable endeavours, and I'm a big fan of Mr. Sunny Varkey and all the work he does for charity. I think it's outstanding, second to none. So that was something that I wanted to explore further, knowing that he was connected to GEMS World Academy through his GEMS Education company. That was something that was really important, that in terms of knowing that this has got to be a place or a school that's got some really solid, good, ethical foundations. So that was something that interested me. I then visited GEMS World Academy, and when I visited GEMS World Academy, it had that thing that Westminster Academy had, and that was magic. As soon as I walked into the school, I felt a certain magic in the air, and it was very much coming from the children, it was coming from the staff, it was coming from the ethos, it was coming from the spirit. And all of that I took and felt it was very similar to what where I was at that time, and I had finished that project, I had made it a success and it was ready to hand over to somebody else. But here, the fact that we had 81 different nationalities, it was a real multitude of a diverse population and a diverse community coming together, studying the International Baccalaureate. And the IB, as we know, is just the best curriculum on the planet. You know, as a curriculum, what does it not give us? It gives us everything. It gives us curricula, it gives us content, it gives us inquiry, it gives us aspiration, it gives us ambition, it gives us theory of knowledge, it gives us the ability to care for society and care for those that are less fortunate than us. It gives us interconnectedness with the world around us, and not just believing that we work in silos and we don't need people. It really does all those things. So how could I not have said yes to a job which would give me all of those things with a fantastic community like the one we have here?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense.
I couldn't say no. I couldn't say no. It was just I fell in love with it. I really did fall in love with it.
Yeah. And so you've kind of touched upon it already, but I wanted to go a little bit deeper into what motivates you as an educator, and particularly what inspires you and what drives you forward, and how that fits within your vision, your education philosophy, if that's the right word. And I wonder if that educational philosophy has changed over the years. Has it always been? Has it always been constant? How does that work?
That's a really interesting question. So at heart, I'm a teacher. So when people ask me, what do you do? I'm a teacher. That's what I am. I teach. And I think, without sounding like a cliche, education, I believe, is the only thing that will help us have a better world, whether it's pollution, whether it's racism, whether it's discrimination, whether it's poverty, whether it's whatever the inequality is, whatever's bad in life. I think education has to be the answer. It is the only thing that will help us be a better community and a better society. I genuinely believe if all the children in the world studied an International Baccalaureate curriculum, we would be a better world, because at the heart of the IB, we appreciate perspective, other people's and our own, and we accept that people have different perspectives. And I think that's what education is about, and that's my philosophy. My philosophy of education is very much deeply rooted in educating the mind, educating the heart, educating the soul, and educating the physical being, educating all aspects of a child, so that a child can do anything they want to, as long as it impacts in a good way on others around them. So my philosophy is based on really making sure that every child understands and believes they can succeed, and there is nothing that's impossible. There are no obstacles, regardless what their starting point is. Every child can achieve. And I don't say must, can achieve. And that's really important, that children believe in themselves, and it's about keeping them believing in themselves so that they become not just lifelong learners but lifelong global citizens. They can do anything they want to do. My philosophy is about making sure every child has all the opportunities that this brilliant world of ours can afford them, and it's our job as adults to really open up all those opportunities, whether they're enrichment opportunities, whether they're sporting opportunities, whether they're expressive arts, dance, drama. Really expect children to step up and really engage with all these great things that are happening around us, and not just focus on one or two things. My philosophy of education is that children need to feel empowered for themselves but also for others, and I believe that if we educate children well, if we educate children so that their mind, their spirit, their soul, their physical being is educated well, they will go out into this brilliant world of ours and they will create impact for everybody and not just themselves. My philosophy very much stands very, very, very much on you cannot be a successful student or a global citizen if you're not a nice, kind, caring person. Results are great, outcomes are great, but they're useless if you can't empathize with people, if you can't be kind to people, if you can't make life better for people. So my dream and my vision is for the children in my care that when they leave here, when they leave GEMS World Academy, they leave as holistic global citizens who are going to make an impact, not just on their own lives and their own families, but on the world at large. That's where my philosophy of education fits.
So taking that education philosophy and putting it into GEMS World Academy here in Dubai, what is your vision in particular for the school, and what does success look like, short term, long term, medium term, and ultimately what are you hoping to achieve for your school community here?
That's a really important question. So our school community is a family. GEMS World Academy is a family. And at this academy, we want everybody to feel three things in particular. We want them to feel safe, we want them to feel secure, and we want them to feel successful. The safety comes from 81 different nationalities at the academy, and everyone walking into the academy and feeling like this is my home. Not my second home, but my home, because we have an expat community here, as you know, and it's so important that children feel like they belong somewhere and not just that they have to fit in. I have to be like you and you and you if I need to fit in, but I can be like me if I'm able to just belong. And so it's really important that the children feel safe when they walk into the academy. They feel they belong to this academy and this is their home. They don't fear any discrimination, they don't fear any racism, any sexism, or anything that can make them feel inferior or not as important as everybody else at this academy. That's not an easy thing to do, but that is what we are doing at GEMS World Academy. So the safety is really important, mental health and well-being, making sure children feel comfortable. The security is really important. So I want every single child to come into this academy and enjoy a curricula, a provision like none other. A first-class International Baccalaureate Continuum curriculum, PYP, MYP, DP and CP, which allows children to grow according to their own personal needs and their own starting points. I want them to experience music and drama and dance and sport and chemistry and biology and physics and maths and English and geography and history and languages. I want them to dance, I want them to sing, I want them to be able to present, I want them to be able to talk, and I want them to be able to feel so confident that they can say whatever they want to in a respectful way so that they are heard and their voices matter. So security is really important, and that's all about that sort of confidence building. And then I want them to be successful, and the success very much is about outcomes, regardless of their starting points, whether they're special educational needs, whether they have a learning need, whether they have a behavioural need, whether they're English as an additional language, whether they're high attainers, low attainers, middle attainers, whether they are adopted at birth and they're vulnerable learners, whatever they are, I want them to be successful. And success is very much about outcomes, and it is about progress, and it's about looking at where they've started, what their benchmark data is showing us, and how are we helping them travel to get to their targeted grades and their predicted grades. And why do we want success for our children? Because success and great outcomes will open more doors for the children. So together with being safe, secure and successful, my children will have better life chances, they will have better opportunities, they will have better choices. When they leave Gems World Academy, I want them to be able to look me in the eyes and say, Dr. Rana, you did absolutely everything possible to make sure I had choice. And what does that choice look like or feel like? They can go to university, I would hope the top universities. They could go into the world of work. They could become an intern, they could be a philanthropist, they could be a volunteer, they could run their own charity, they could go traveling. I don't mind what it is, but I want them to have choice, because the worst thing we can do to our young children is take choice from them. And choice comes from opportunity, it comes from great provision, it comes from people who really genuinely care about children from their own hearts. And that's what we're doing here at Gems World Academy.